So how many T-fittings can you put onto a Harley-Davidson for your air ride? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, and I'd have a fourth one if I was running my air gauge. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mikey Yourself. So you see the dilemma I'm in. Put air ride on the bike, and I want to have, you know, air compressor, dump valve, the 2 shocks, like air gauge, and then just kind of as a backup plan, I added a Schrader valve, so that way if in the event my compressor ever fails, I can still put air into the system by using a hand pump or whatever through the Schrader valve. So 6 connections in total. That's 4 T-fittings. So how do you make that work, look good, and try to eliminate the number of failures you could possibly introduce into the system? Because each one of those T-fittings has an O-ring in every single slot going through that. So you're kind of destined for failure. And one of the major complaints people have with air rides on Harley-Davidsons, and probably the other bikes too, I just don't know enough about those ones, is they leak all the time. You're always coming out, you're always finding your bike down to the low point, and you go to put air in it and it seems like everything's working fine. You get to your first stop, you come back out and you're down again, and then it becomes the hunt for the little soapy bubbles, right? So let me show you a solution I'm going to try out. I'm kind of guessing here. I don't know if anybody else has done this. I just thought it might be a kind of a cool idea, especially if it works out, and maybe it'll bring a little bit more simplicity. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. They make these distribution blocks for your air compressors, like the big ones that go in a garage, right? And you could hook up multiple ports to it, so that way if you're running hoses throughout your garage, you don't have to worry about stretching it across or whatever. You can kind of set it up really nice. So I thought, what if I could kind of make this work for the Harley, right? And just have a distribution block instead of all these T-fittings. Now, to put things in perspective, this is a pretty good sized block. This is about 5 inches, right? And about just a little over an inch, maybe 1.25 inches as far as how thick it is, and it is a square. So, and this is a 6-port, so you've got 1 on each side and then 4 in the front. And I think ideally the way they designed this to be used was you put your feed, or your air compressor goes plugged into here, and then you have your outlets, and then this allows you to kind of carry it onto another block or wherever else you want in your garage. Now, these are 1/4 inch NPT, so this is much larger than your standard air ride system, which uses the 1/8 inch NPT. So the way we're going to make this work is we picked up some brass reducers that we can put in here. So the brass reducer has a male 1/4 inch NPT and a 1/8 female NPT that will allow us to put these push to connect elbows in. And I went with a 90-degree just so I can kind of rotate these around and draw the lines wherever I need. So if I want the lines to go straight up from where this is going to be mounted to the side, whatever. And then also place them on the side. So this gives us the 6 ports that we need to maintain our air ride. So we've got our brass fittings in here, and just to, and there's no name brands to any of this stuff that I'm aware of, at least. But for these brass fittings, these are rated at 1200 PSI, so 1200 PSI. They come in packs of 2, so in order to get the right number for me, I had to buy 3 packs. And this whole setup is about $50. Anyhow, I just wanted to call out the rating on these because I run my air ride probably at about 80 PSI, so we're not even exercising these things. So if you're wondering about strength, I'm literally like providing huge strength to support something that doesn't really need it that big, and then these are probably going to be the weak points. So we're going to add these on into here. They come with Teflon already there, so all we have to do is kind of tighten those up, and then we can get it onto the bike. All right, before we start pulling tubes, let's deplete the air system. All right, got the air out. Let's start ditching all these dang things. All right, so out of all of the lines, I'm going to be able to reuse the one that goes back to, I think this is the compressor. I'll have to replace my shock line because that one's coming up short here. The one that's going to our dump valve is right here, so that's good. I can reuse that one. The one that goes out to this Schrader valve is also going to be short, so I've got 3 lines that I'll need to replace, and then add in the line that's going to go from our air gauge over there. So I'm going to try to reuse what I can from some of the line that we just pulled out. That way we don't waste anything. So I'm going to have to get that bag off, run the new lines, and then kind of clean this area up because I got a little bit of a spaghetti mess going on. And then we'll mount up that distribution block and take a look at it. All right, so we've got our block in. I've just got it hung up there with some zip ties. I'm not sure if that's going to be the long-term solution or not. I do have to do some major cleanup in this area. What I am doing now is running kind of the last wire. So I've got our compressor here. I do have to run one more wire to the shock behind this, or wire tube, to our right side shock. So we're going to do the air gauge real quick. I'm looking for an area where it's not going to chafe or get cut as best as I can. So, all right, and go through here. We'll put that guy in there, and then plug him in. Pull it back so we can get rid of that slack. And then when you do your cutting, so for this stuff, don't use diagonal cutters when you're cutting your airline because you won't always get a good straight cut. They'll tell you to use like a razor blade on a flat surface. I picked this tool up. I think it was part of a kit. It's really, really cool. It's got a razor blade kind of built into it, but it allows you to lay the line in there nice and flat so you get a good 90-degree cut with it. All right. So we're good there. So last line, I got to move the saddlebag, which kind of have my camera attached here. So I'm going to disconnect that. And as soon as I get that run through, we'll test the block. Moment of truth, guys. We've got our stuff all in. I just put a bunch of air in it. Let's check it for leaks. So we're looking for those tiny bubbles. And I've done this enough times to know that it is of no surprise if we find leaks. So looks like port 1 is good so far. Let's try these ports here. Oh, got leaks. There and there. So we've got 2. Let's check the lower connections just to make sure those are good. Those seem to be good. We'll check this one here. And so this one's kind of hidden, but it's also got a leak. That's why it's sudsing up like that too. There you go, a nice big bubble on the back side. So we got 3 leaks. And that looks like it might be it. So we got to just throw a couple more turns on these. Looks like at the base where on the brass fitting, So let me get a wrench to do that, and then we'll have to test it again. All right, guys, so just put a couple of turns on those again. Gave it enough pressure. I got about 80 psi going in there. Let's see. So we're still leaking on that one. And that one. And that one. All right, we still got some leaks going. Okay, let's give it another shot. Got it all back in there. Put more Teflon tape on the ends. It looks like I didn't start the Teflon tape at the very base of them, so that was my fault. But definitely cranked down on them, got them nice and tight, so there shouldn't be any freaking leaks. So number 1 is good. 2 is good. 3 is good. 4 is good. 5 is good. Let's try last one here in the corner. And we are, I can't tell on that back one. Let's get some light back there. Yep. We're looking good. Hell yeah. All right, so now the goal is to let it sit overnight. I want to make sure it doesn't drop any pressure over the long term, because it never fails. Like, you think you're done, you button it all up, and then bam, friggin' thing's leaking. So we'll let it sit overnight. Quick, easy, and organized. Far easier to troubleshoot. Everything is there. I'll argue it gives it a professional look there compared to having T-fittings spread throughout the bike. All right, guys, so next day, and I put everything back together because I felt pretty confident after that last leak test that we weren't going to have any issues, and it looks like we are good to go. So looking at my gauge here, we have a variance of maybe 2 or 3 psi, which could just be temperature in the garage. So of course, you know, air expands, contracts with the temperature differences, so I'm not going to fuss over that. That to me doesn't really indicate a leakage problem. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for this week's video. I think another cool change to make to the bike. I hope this video brought you a little bit of value. I hope it brought you some creation, some opportunity, something that got your mind thinking. And if it did, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, I'd love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. Provide your input, provide feedback, really just help each other out in this community. And until my next video does post, I hope to see you in the win.